We'd like to remind passengers on the upper deck to please remain seated while the vehicle is in motion and to keep hands, arms, legs and heads within the sides and rear walls of the vehicle at all times. Thank you very much. To those passengers who've just joined us, we would like to welcome you aboard the Stagecoach 599 service to Ambleside and Grasmere.
The next stop is Hammerbank. Please ring the bell if you wish to alight here.
As we approach the roundabout, the road up the hill leads to Kirkston Pass, Glenridding and Ullswater. Kirkston Pass, at an altitude of almost 1,500 feet, is the Lake District's highest pass you can drive over. There's a pub at the summit, the Kirkston Pass Inn, which is the third highest pub in England and generates its own power using large wind turbines. Glenridding is a small village that sits at the southern end of Ullswater and in the shadow of Helvellyn, England's third highest mountain. It's popular with walkers and with tourists who take the lake steamers to Cooley Bridge at the north end of the lake. Ullswater is the second largest lake in the Lake District, behind Lake Windermere. It's 9 miles long and 3/4 of a mile wide at its widest point, but relatively shallow, at around 200 feet at its deepest. Before the county of Cumbria was formed, Ullswater was the boundary between the counties of Cumberland and Westmoreland. It's widely considered to be one of the most beautiful of the English lakes and has been compared to Lake Lucerne in Switzerland, with stunning views and scenery.
It's been compared, figure out a lot better in Lake Lucerne.
The next stop is Troutbeck Bridge. Please ring the bell if you wish to alight here. The next stop is White Cross Bay. Please ring the bell if you wish to alight here.
We're about to pass White Cross Bay Holiday Park. This place has a fascinating history. During World War II, the site was a factory owned by the Short brothers, in which Sunderland flying boats were made. The original factory was in Rochester in Kent, but when that became a target for the Luftwaffe, production moved to the shores of Windermere. Around 35 flying boats were built and launched here, with most bound for protection and U-boat hunting roles for the Atlantic convoys. The location was ideal, as it was sheltered, isolated, and had easy access to a large open stretch of water for the planes to take off. The Short brothers also built a small village, Colgarth, to house the workers, which is now part of the holiday park.
The next stop is Brockhole. Please ring the bell if you wish to alight here.
Coming up is the Brockhole National Park Visitor Centre. Once a private dwelling owned by the Gaddam family, who were related by marriage to Beatrix Potter, it became a convalescent home during World War II, and latterly the National Park Visitor Centre in 1965. There are 10 acres of formal gardens and 20 acres of informal gardens and meadows. Its attractions include the centre itself, a cafe, a restaurant named after the original owners, woodland, lakeside walks, an adventure playground, formal and informal gardens, and the treetop trek, aerial assault course and treetop nets, to entertain the kids and adults alike.
Children. I can't see goats getting up there. No, they're pretty good at riding goats anyway.
The next stop is Lowood. Please ring the bell if you wish to alight here.
We're about to pass Lowood Bay. If you look out over the lake, you'll see, providing it's not raining, a stunning view over Lake Windermere to the Langdale Pikes. We believe this is the best view from a bus stop in the world. The lake itself is England's largest. Because mere means lake, there's no need to call it Lake Windermere, just Windermere will do. The lake has a number of small wooded islands. These are owned by the National Trust and accessible by boat. The largest island is Belle Isle, named after Isabella, the wife of John Curwen, who completed the unusual circular house on the island. The lake was used by the Romans to move quarried stone, and excavations for the current house revealed remains from Roman occupation.
The next stop is Waterhead Pier. Please ring the bell if you wish to alight here.
We'll shortly be arriving at Waterhead, home of Ambleside's Lake Pier. There are a number of small shops and cafes in the area, and just around the corner is Bowling Park, with access to the lake's shore, perfect for a stroll. If you're looking to take a lake cruise, please alight here. To the left is Galava, the remains of a Roman fort established to protect trade routes in a major Roman port of Ravenglass. The wooden fort was built around AD 79 to house a garrison of 200 men. This was soon abandoned, but the site was redeveloped in the 2nd century AD, when a second fort, stone built this time, was constructed in its place to house a cohort of 500 infantrymen. You can still see the footprints of the artificial platform on which the fort was built.
The next stop is Ambleside Kelsick Road. Please ring the bell if you wish to alight here.
We're now approaching Ambleside Town Centre. Passengers wishing to catch the 505 service to Hawkshead and Coniston and the 516 service to Elton Water and Dungeon Gill should change here. If you're leaving the bus here, we'd like to remind you to check you have all your personal belongings with you. We thank you again for using this service today, and we hope to see you again soon.
Tonight when you're coming back.
We'd like to remind passengers on the upper deck to please remain seated while the vehicle is in motion and to keep hands, arms, legs and heads within the sides and rear walls of the vehicle at all times. Thank you very much. For those passengers who have just joined us, we would like to welcome you aboard this Stagecoach 599 service to Grasmere. We're now travelling through the town of Ambleside.
That's tight, isn't it?
There's been a settlement here for over 2,000 years, dating back to before Galava, which was built by the Romans. As the Roman Empire declined, the area came under the control of Furness Abbey, near Banner-in-Furness. The ruins of the abbey can still be visible today.
Yes, big, right up on the top of the Atlantic Road.
The Industrial Revolution brought new technologies to the area. The road system was transformed from mud cart tracks to reliable roads, and water, bark and bobbin mills were built alongside watercourses. Stock Gill still has the remnants of water mills near its banks. By the late 19th century, the town had expanded as the tourist industry caught up and overtook the mills as the town's main trade, and visiting the area became easier with the arrival of the railway at Windermere. Can you believe that at one time this tiny two-roomed building was supposedly home to a family of 2 parents and 6 children?
That's the house on the bridge.
Bridge House is possibly the most photographed building in the Lake District. It was built as an apple store for Ambleside Hall and straddled Stock Beck to escape land tax.
The next stop is Ambleside Health Centre. Please ring the bell if you wish to alight here. Rydal. Please ring the bell if you wish to alight here.
We're now entering Rydal, most famous for Rydal Mount, where the poet William Wordsworth lived until his death in 1850.
No, it's alright. I think we're the next stop after this one, thank you.
Some of the house dates back to
Oh, right,
1574.
we'll tell you
It was
anything.
enlarged in 1750 and has changed little since. It's now a Grade 1 listed building.
Probably knows.
Rydal Mount is not the obvious large building you can see through the trees. That's Rydal Hall, built in the 16th century. Its present look dates from the early 19th century. This is the so-called New Hall, built by the first Sir Michael de Fleming in the 16th century, enlarged in the 17th century and altered and refaced in the 18th century, with the main front dating from the early 19th century. The original Rydal Hall was closer to the current road, but was in ruins by the end of the 16th century. The village of Rydal was built on the old trade route between Ambleside and Keswick, originally a packhorse trail, but developed into a turnpike road in the 18th century. There was also a medieval deer park dating from the 13th century on the other side of the river, and this shaped the development of the village, as no building was allowed in the park.
Get round this corner. It's not very long, is it, Rydal? Is this the next one? Yes, this one now. Thank you.
Rydal Water is one of the smallest bodies of water in the Lake District in the class as a lake. It's only a quarter of a mile long and a quarter of a mile wide. It's also shallow, with a maximum depth of 50 feet. Behind the lake is Luckwick Terrace, a popular and easy walking area. It also contains Rydal Caves, a large man-made cavern in the hillside, which is the remnants of a slip.
The next stop is White Moss. Please ring the bell if you wish to alight here.
I've not read one anyway, but no problem. Do you what?
1 mile long, half a mile wide and 75 feet deep, Grasmere is slightly larger than Windermere. The island in the centre is said to have been a favourite place of poet William Wordsworth, who lived in nearby residences Dove Cottage and Allen Bank.
The next stop is Dove Cottage. Please ring the bell if you wish to alight here.
You can see Dove Cottage behind the building is next to the car park. It was built in the 17th century as a public house and was first recorded as the Dove and Olive in 1617. It remained a pub until it closed in 1793. It was then converted into a house, and its most famous residents, William Wordsworth and his sister Dorothy, arrived in 1799, and later Wordsworth's new wife Mary. Thomas de Quincey, a journalist and writer, was a permanent guest at Dove Cottage, and in 1808 the family outgrew Dove Cottage and moved to Allen Bank in the village of Grasmere. Dove Cottage was acquired by the Wordsworth Trust in 1890, opening to the public in 1891. Inside, the cottage looks the same now as it did in Wordsworth's day.
The next stop is Grasmere Swan. Please ring the bell if you wish to alight here.
We're now approaching the village of Grasmere. The centre of the village is the terminus for this service. Where we turn into the village, this road continues towards Keswick, climbing into the distance over Dunmail Raise. This was the scene of a bloody battle in 945 AD for the control of the Kingdom of Cumberland between Dunmail, the last King of Cumberland, and the united forces of Malcolm, King of Scotland, and Edmund, the Saxon king. Dunmail was defeated and slain in the battle, and local folklore tells that his body lies under a large pile of rocks and stones at the summit of the pass. More recently, in December 2015, the main road near Dunmail Raise was washed away during Storm Desmond, cutting off communities and effectively severing the county of Cumbria. The road was closed for just over 5 months before a 3-mile stretch was completely rebuilt and the road reopened. Grasmere is a beautiful village, home to St Oswald's Church, where William Wordsworth and his family are buried. The Wordsworths lived in 2 properties in the village, Allen Bank on the outskirts and the old rectory. This second abode was a cold, damp house, and Wordsworth's 2 youngest children died here. This place is the home of the legendary Grasmere gingerbread, which has been produced here to a secret recipe since 1854. You'll also find a variety of small shops and cafes, including Baldry's tea rooms, and it's well worth spending some time here. This service terminates in the village before departing for its return journey in a few minutes. If you're leaving us here, please check you have all your personal belongings. We thank you for using the service today, and we hope to see you again soon.